Yo, what is going on, my friend? This is Jake of JG Calisthenics, and in today's video, as the title of this suggests, we're going to cover my current at-home lower body leg workout plan. Because of course, like I said a few weeks ago when I did my full weekly at-home workout routine, again, I got a very good response, so why not make more of the videos that you actually want to see more of, right? So, like I said, I'm going to show over like my current lower body leg workout routine and do like a voiceover and talk through it with you. And honestly, before I dive into it, I do just want to mention, as I am being coached by Tom Merrick, Body Warrior, obviously this is technically speaking his work, so I can't go over like the specific sets and reps and that, but I'll still obviously go over, you know, the structure of it as a whole, in which I can actually do, you know what I mean? So yeah, let's just head over to the workout and the voiceover right now. Right, starting out with lower A. Lower A, we are doing some front foot elevated split squats, a great way to build strength and mobility at the same time. It's great exercise, bang for your buck. I'd probably suggest it more as like a accessory exercise to like something like a back squat, but obviously with lockdown and that, obviously don't have access to a gym to do heavy squats and that, but I'm probably long term, if the gyms are shut down even longer, probably just gonna improvise but just actually getting a barbell itself. But yeah, like I said, just doing these because again, these also help not just with making day-to-day life easier, because again, it's like all your lower body flexibility and issues are just solved within this one exercise, but also again, it's great for building strength and flexibility for the front split, right, which of course is a goal of mine. And then after that, we're doing some good mornings with a wide stance, again conditioning that lower back, strengthening that lower back should I say, and also again a stretch in the adducts as well, the wider stance, because again just helps with building strength and flexibility at the same time to give me the best bang for buck, to not only get stronger but also get more flexible for the front and middle splits, right? So obviously as I'm lowering down, keeping the back straight, focusing on just pushing those hips and glutes back so the spine doesn't round forward. And yeah, that is that one covered. I'm going to show a few more reps because this one was definitely pardon me, high volume and more intense than it looks. So with that said, after here we're doing some ab work, so it's like a hanging knee raise and then coming down straight to a hanging leg raise. I actually think this is harder than hanging leg raises because obviously as you pull up to the chest, you then straighten the legs and it's like you actually go higher than you could with like a hanging leg raise. But this is great, again strengthen the abs, getting some hip flexor strength, getting some hamstring flexibility there as I straighten my legs. So again, it's all about training where you can get the biggest bang for your buck for your time, right? And so after that, is that the last rep? I'm pretty sure that's the last rep. We then do some squat to pike work. When I actually hit, I stop record. There we go. Squat to pike, basically, it's kind of just some hamstring flexibility stuff, focusing on straightening the knees at the top and focusing on kind of like getting deeper into the pike at the top, hence the use of the weight. Again, it's not like traditional sets and reps going to all out muscle failure. This is all about the stretch, right, and the range of motion, as it's a flexibility based exercise. So after this one, I'm going to cut this one short simply so again I can keep you engaged in the video so it doesn't go on so long. But basically here, flexibility wise, I'm just going to show a brief clip here of some hip extension crush for the hamstrings. So obviously I do both sides at a time, but basically it's like 10 seconds of contracting, 5 seconds off, and then after that I basically do some like max knee flexion curls as so. So obviously this helps combine this of basically opening up the legs for the front splits, which I am about to show you after this. Do about 10 reps, and after this basically I forgot what it's called, but basically as you can tell here, I've got the front foot slightly elevated, and then I've got, I basically lift the back foot up, and more so about actually like pushing the hip back rather than like just raising it up. And then after that, that's where basically I just slide into the front split. It's a shame I actually only recorded this one because literally yesterday when I actually did this, I actually got a lot deeper when relying less on the yoga blocks. But that just is what it is. It's all about imperfect action. You learn along the road, and it's just a prime example of how, you know, progress comes by taking action as opposed to procrastinating than trying to think of the answers, because the answers actually come by taking action rather than thinking, you know what I'm saying? But besides the point, change some clothes, because obviously I'm now doing a lower B with some Cossack squats overhead to load up the posterior chain as well as the quads, hence doing it more overhead. And yeah, obviously if you are actually wondering why it appears that I'm changing clothes in some of the exercises, I did actually record some one week and then the other week, if that makes sense. Hence why, of course, I may be wearing different clothes. I'm pretty sure here lower B though, I do actually wear the same shorts like both weeks. So obviously I do actually have, you know, multiple pair of shorts to wear, but it was just a coincidence that for lower B, which I do on Fridays, I just happen to wear my blue shorts for each workout. But basically after here, grinding out, we do some hamstring curls with the stability ball, you know what I'm saying? Focusing on that slow eccentric. And yeah, good stuff. That's basically that, doing both sides equally, obviously doing it single leg with limited equipment about. Obviously makes it a lot more intense. And yeah, that's the hamstring curl covered there. And then from here, lower B is a bit shorter than lower A. But after here, we do some, I forgot what it's called. I think it's like a rhythm, like a Romanian rhythm squat or bounce or something. But basically, do like 50 reps in total, and it's a combination of maximum ankle extension and then maximum hip extension. Do you know what I mean? So basically it's a way of like conditioning the VMO, build the quads and the ankles, all of that basically. So it just helps with all around, I guess you could say, building strength and staying injury free. Again, it's more about like the pump and explosiveness as opposed to like going to all out failure, right? Now here, opening up the hips with some, I think they're called twisting peeing dogs, because it's literally as the name suggests, like if you see a dog pee, this is literally exactly how it would look. So it's kind of like this, opening up the hips and the glutes here. So obviously doing this contract and relax basically allows you to get deeper into the middle splits itself. So basically this is me right now doing my middle splits, getting there deeper very slowly, very gradually. And yeah, again, it's about 10 seconds contracting, and then that allows you to then do 5 seconds like stretching, like deepening into the middle split. And basically after that, that's where, once to the point where my legs feel like they're about to snap and my central nervous system does not feel like it can go any deeper, that's where, of course, I basically just be like, all right, okay, cool, right, put my hands for some assistance, hold it for about 20 seconds, and then go from there. Of course, any flexibility experts or anyone who has actually done the middle splits or is deeper in the middle splits in their progress compared to me, obviously any tips in the comment section below would be greatly appreciated. Same with front splits as well. Any flexibility tips would be absolutely awesome. But yeah, that is both lower body workouts covered. So as those are the two workouts covered of how I'm currently training my lower body now to get stronger and more flexible. Obviously, it's like, that's where kind of thing popped up of regards to, I guess you'd say, rate of progress, right? Because of course, when I work with clients one-on-one, of course, everyone comes to me at completely different points, different starting points, different ages, different training backgrounds, different experience, different genetics. And so with that said, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses. And I feel that not just with clients, but everyone, including myself, we tend to, you know, neglect our strengths of what we're actually really good at, and then actually dwell on and beat ourselves down over the natural weaknesses we have, right? So for me, like my biggest weak link, which is still to this day, is flexibility, right? Obviously strength comes a lot more natural to me than flexibility, because of course, like growing up, right, playing sports, obviously I was very active, played a lot of football, soccer, wherever you are across the globe, right? And so honestly, over those years of just constant like working, if that makes sense, with little to no focus on, you know, I guess you say the mobility within my legs and the joints. So obviously I got very stiff and immobile. It's like when I actually used weightlifting as a teenager to not only better myself but to also improve my sport performance. Of course, it's like even basic things like back squats were a struggle for me. Like I said, if you see my old clips, I was using like knee sleeves and all that because it just hurt so much. It wasn't necessarily that the back squat was like unsafe, because it definitely isn't, right? Is because obviously I just lacked, you know, the adequate mobility and flexibility to be able to squat comfortably in that realm, right? And so obviously it's like I was literally as stiff as a board, and that's where for me I always tended to neglect flexibility, because I was just like, nah, I suck at flexibility, I've got stiff legs. That's how life is, right? But really that's not actually the case, right? It's in fact one reason why I started calisthenics, because of course calisthenics not only obviously builds strength and muscle, but it also improves your flexibility, your mobility, and your posture all at once, right? And so obviously for me, once I actually achieved like 4-range of motion, like one leg squats, that's when I like came to realize like, whoa, it's like I can actually build flexible legs when I actually put my mind to it and I actually follow the right plan and guidance in that realm, right? And so that's where for me I was like, you know what, let's actually do something else that I thought was initially impossible within my own body, which is working towards the front and middle splits, right? And so obviously, like since then, I think I've been working on the front and middle splits for about a year now. And honestly, like for me, like I just accepted the kind of reality that, again, flexibility doesn't come as natural to me. So although I can still make progress, it naturally comes at a slower rate, and that's cool. And for me the other day, like, I guess you could say I kind of beat myself down to the point where it's like, because obviously like flexibility comes more natural to women, right? I have a friend on Instagram who showed their middle split progress, right? And I was like, how long did that take you to do the middle splits? And they're like, 2 months. I was like, oh my days. It's like, here's this woman doing the full middle splits in 2 months, right? And I've been doing it for 12 months, being coached through the whole time. And I've still actually got quite a way to go. I was just like, wow, it's like, I'm useless. I am absolutely nothing. It's just all part of being a human being, right? It's like, we're not perfect, we are imperfectly perfect, right? If you want to put it that way. I think, again, it's all about perspective on rate of progression. I feel like when you tend to compare yourself to others, it tends to create like a scarcity type of mindset, because when we compare ourselves to others, we always compare ourselves to people better than us, no matter where we are on our journey. And so when we look at that, it's like we just think of ourselves as just like, oh man, it's like I'm so bad, it's like I'm worthless, like I'm nothing compared to them, right? But then when you actually just do what you actually should do, which is actually just comparing yourself to yourself, right? It's like, that's where, again, your perspective tends to change a bit, right? It's like for myself, if I look at like some people who, achieve the front and middle splits much faster than me, it's like I tend to beat myself down. But when I actually look at how freaking far away I was from the front and middle splits like a year ago to where I progressed several months later, I'm like, whoa, like I made a lot of progress that I thought initially wasn't possible. And I'm actually very close to kind of like doing what I thought was initially impossible in my own body. And now I'm just like, wow, Jake's awesome. Jake is like the real deal, right? It's like Jake is awesome. It's like I'm the MVP. Do you know what I mean? Just see how like your perspective changes just from that kind of like scarcity mindset of comparing yourself to others to like, I guess you could say, that abundant mindset of comparing yourself to yourself, because that's where you then see how much progress you've really made, which ultimately makes you feel a lot more confident, a lot more happy in yourself, which is obviously what we, is why we do health and fitness in the first place, to better ourselves and boost our self-confidence. And so that said, if you have seen this week both my upper and lower body routines at home, and you're thinking yourself of like how you can actually structure a home workout routine yourself, then of course I've actually done the guesswork for you already, right, with my new monthly programs, which I'll link in the first link in the description below. Obviously it has been updated, brand new video tutorials. Clients are absolutely loving it, because of course the exercise tutorials are a lot more concise, to the point where obviously you can build more muscle, more strength, and lose more fat. And so, like I said, if you can click the first link below, obviously you can learn more. And like I said, it is absolutely amazing to have the privilege to transform bodies across the globe. And obviously I would love to support you with transforming your own body as well, right? So yeah, I believe as that is everything covered. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And before you go, make sure to stay tuned for the next video, because we're actually going to cover calisthenics specifically for females and women, and specifically how to start calisthenics for women in that realm, right? So like I said, it's like, if you want to watch that, stay tuned, because we're going to cover that in the next video, right? And yeah, I think that's everything covered. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share it with a friend or friends you believe would benefit from these gains. And as that's enough of me today, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, my friend, as a crew member of the Gains Express. Keep moving forward. Appreciate you.